What's up guys, welcome to another Lure Fishing Rocks video. A few folks ask me what I use on an average LRF session, so I guess I'll just run through the sort of gear I've gotten and the way I use it. Stay tuned and hopefully I'm of help to someone. So roll credits. Yeah, so first things first, obviously you can have a crap load of tackle, but what you really need is something to be able to take it out on the shore with. So this is the Eco Gear EG1. You'd nearly call it a waist bag, a bum bag, that kind of thing. Two handy pockets in the front. One mesh pocket in the side there, which I usually use for spools of line. Double zip and plenty of room in it, but compact enough to sort of take out on a session and not be lugging loads of stuff about with you. I think these retailed in around 60 to 80 quid. This one hasn't let me down yet. Comes with a real handy insert. Generally, as you know, the like a gulp and isome and everything else leaks, so there's a nice plastic insert in it. Means that you can take it out, wash it, wash the bag, put the gear back in again, and your bag's not absolutely honking doing all your misses. Okay, so the crux of LRF really is four main sort of tactics that most guys use. So first of all, you've got jig head, and then you've got drop shot, you've got split shot rigs, and then you've got metals. Yeah, pretty much that covers it. Yeah, obviously you can get like a fish black minnows and stuff, which are head, tail, hook, etc., like single units. But I think that those four pretty much cover exactly what an LRF angler would take out with them on a average session. I'll start off with drop shot just to be quick here. I cannot tie drop shot rigs on the shore. I am terrible at it, absolutely awful. They always end up messing up on me. Basically, I end up tying a lazy drop shot, which is a hook trapped between two knots, and it doesn't work out well when you finally hook a beast. So what I have done is I've taken this Major Craft rig wallet. I think it's actually a jig wallet. I've filled it with pre-tied drop shot rigs. I find them dead on, sort of tying, like a uni to uni and getting those set up nice and quick. Basically, if I was tying drop shots, especially at night, during a session, I would lose loads and loads of fishing time. So all I want to do is just be prepared in that light. In there also, there's split shot rigs. Now, split shot rigs are dead easy. Basically, small hook, couple of split shots up the line. What I find is I like to use Kamasan. I think they're called the Beast or Monster or something like that. But they're hooks to nylon, so they're really well presented, especially for the like of the course boys there. They're really well presented, so all you have to do is just nip on your shot if you want to tie a bit of leader on, and then put the hook length on. You can, or you can just tie direct to the hook length. Find that great for sort of hooking out wee things. Not great when you hook a 3 pound wrasse though. Okay, jig heads. There is an infinite amount of jig heads out there for every eventuality. That's currently my box. My box is full of jig heads. Half of them I don't know what I'm doing with, but I'll run you through a couple which have worked really, really well for me as sort of recently and in the past few years as well. There's just some modern classics in there that you've got to have. First things first, that is an Eco Gear Shirasu fine head. It stands up on the bottom, meaning that when you're retrieving that and bouncing it across the bottom, what happens is the tail of the lure will fish up the way. It's really, really good for wrasse. I have not found a better jig head for LRF wrasse. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's about as good as I can do. That's just sits up like that and the tail wafts off the back of it. Later on I might actually rig a couple up and actually show you how they sit. But that's the Eco Gear Shirasu. Major Craft Dart. This thing swims like nothing else. Sticking the like of a 2-inch straight tail or a wee paddle tail on there and just bouncing it or swimming it straight can really give you some real good coley and pollock sport along with your pelagics. I've caught plenty of herring on these over the years, but this past year I've actually found a absolutely awesome head for herring and mackerel. We get a run of herring and mackerel locally, like from sort of November to December. What I find is fishing for them at night is certainly best, and what I've found is these owner glow jig heads have picked up more fish than any other head that I have used this year. Nice fine wire hook, nice bulbous head. That's like 3.5 grams, so the 1.8 and it's actually slightly better, but I think showing you that is probably going to give you an idea of what it is. There's a couple of classics in there. Obviously the decoy rockets. The decoy rockets are something that the guys will, I've seen since day zero, 6-7 years ago. That's one of the first sort of jig heads that I was using. Again, great for straight tails and stuff. You can really dart the lure with these wee things. They're absolutely fantastic. Yes, so on to the metals. I do like micro jigging in the summer. I find it great fun for the like of Gurnards and stuff. Also on the slightly heavy rod, the like the 2 to 15 Kuradai and stuff. Throwing wee metals is an absolute joy. Same with the tubular tip in the N1 Agi. Basically, I have a couple of favourites. I'll run you through them. That's a wee Savage gear. That's pretty standard. I've been finding these wee Daiwa Prisoner CVs quite good as well, but obviously the icing on the cake for me is absolutely the Major Crafts. So that is one of the Major Craft blades in 7 gram. Basically it's a vibration bait. So what I like to do is I like to belt it out and then count it down and then hold the rod tip up and just a nice steady retrieve. You'll feel it vibrate through the water the whole way in. Basically I've had mackerel whack them, I've had pollock, I've had coalies, I've had wee codling whack those two near the bottom. I find them it's more exciting. A lot of the time I'm swinging lures in the tide in a couple of my local venues and swinging that round and just bringing it in dead slow. I'm finding the takes absolutely savage on those. One of my favourite lures ever is the Major Craft Jig Para Slow. Now that's a 10 gram in that. Basically so I can use it on the ultralight rods, or the light rods anyway. I love the takes you get on a slow jig. Basically feeling that lure get bumped on the way back down is one of my favourite things in fishing. Fishing slow jigs is, I'd say it's actually my second favourite style of sort of heavier fishing over, well, just under sort of bouncing lures for wrasse. Nice glow stripes up it. If I was a fish, I would eat it. So, you know, they eat it. A jig para swim. The jig para swim has a nice wobble on the way in. I'm not going to lie, I've used it a few times. I've only got one. I should have more, but every time I've used it, it's been hammered by pollock. So it's definitely one for the tackle box. I'll finish off on that. That's one of the Jig Para Live micros. Basically, it's 10 grams, and it's basically looks like a live mackerel, a live micro joey mackerel. Again, that jigging technique slightly speedier with that, but I do enjoy using these casting jigs, you know. So just a quick word on how I store these. Basically, I like to use my run gun 3010. It's a Myho box. So on that side I keep all my metals, and on that side, which is looking tatty as hell since the label came off, I keep all my jig heads. Well, I say all my jig heads. Trust me, there's more somewhere. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, I have a little bit of an addiction to fake baits and soft plastics. It's something that's been ingrained in me since the start. You know, feel to prepare, then prepare to fail. So if you have like loads of stuff with you, something's bound to work eventually. I'll run you through a wee bit of this stuff. I'll do an overhead shot here of kind of what I'm taking out with me on an average session. I'll probably have to do it in 2 lumps, as some of it's bagged and some of it is in Myho cases. But sure, we'll do it in 2 lumps then. Here we go. Okay, so from above, I'll go over the fake baits I use first. This is a tub of gulp. Recently, there's been loads of different types of gulp exploding on the scene from like the JDM guys. My favourites have to be the good old traditional 2-inch sandworm. If it doesn't eat a 2-inch sandworm, it's not worth catching. Also, what I've found is these wee pulse tails here have been very, very effective, especially for flounders. I can't wait to get out and try these. I haven't actually tried these yet. These are being kept for the summer for the wrassing. But these are crayfish made of gulp. I think that's going to be absolutely out of this world. Going down. These are gulp straw tail grubs, or gulp baby sardines, or gulp fish fry if you've been at it as long as we have. Basically, it's just a standard straight tail lure. If you notice, I'm not even moving there, and that tail is going 90 to the flipping dozen. It's absolutely fantastic. This is Maracuya Power Isome. It's been here since the start. Everyone knows what Isome is nowadays. Isome is Japanese for sandworm, but this is Maracuya Power Isome. Again, another sandworm, another Isome. This is Berkeley Gulp Isome. It's basically the best thing since sliced bread for microfishing, or indeed flounder fishing. I have found that the gulp Isome outfishes pretty much everything, simply because it's bite size and fish absolutely love it. On to the actual plastics here. That is a box pretty much filled with eco gear. This is oh no. Well, that's us on to the other pocket of random plastic. If I was going to sort of give you my top 3 sort of right now, it would probably be the Kitech Easy Shiner. Now that's a big one. I find them absolutely brilliant in 2-inch. I would have to go for the Eco Gear Aqua. The Eco Gear Aqua is fantastic, especially these straight tails. I love straight tails. I find them absolutely fantastic. And the Rains Rock Vibe Shad. The Rains Rock Vibe Shad is something that I have been using since day zero. They were recommended to me by the guys who really got me into LRF back in the day. This particular colour, this Golden Legend Part 2, is an absolute ras killer. I mean, I've bought packs of every other colour of these things, and nothing even comes close to this Golden Legend colour. So, as the man says, hopefully we don't discontinue that anytime soon. But that's just another pocket of lures which I have used and have found very, very productive. Just a quick run through the reels that I like to use for my LRF. I've had this for a couple of years now. This is the Shimano Soar BB 2000. Basically, it's a staple among light lure anglers. I have found absolutely no issue with it. It's got a lower price point. I think it's actually been superseded by a new model. I haven't heard much about it, but I might have to invest at some point. But I find the Soar an absolutely fantastic wee reel. I like a 2000 size reel. What I've found is the 1000s can be a wee bit fiddly. 2000s with a shallow spool kind of do it for me. This year I actually invested in the Twin Power 2020 2000 shallow. No problems with it yet. Nice and smooth, super light. Attach it to one of my major craft rods and find it absolutely fantastic. A token 1000 there. There's the Stratic 1000 FL. Basically, I usually wire that onto my major craft days when I'm really micro fishing. Just it feels right on the days. It nearly feels undergunned on a couple of the other rods, but it's a nice rod to fish on the days. It's a nice reel to fish on the days. Go! Yeah, so first up is the Major Craft Days 582 Solid Agi. I actually use this rod for noodling. Now, if you don't know what noodling is, it's basically fishing down holes and boulders and breakwaters and stuff. So if you can imagine, you've got a big pile of boulders, and basically what happens is the holes in the boulders create big caverns, and it's perfect cover for small fish. I find the 582 great for getting nice and close to the holes and being able to sort of control fish and bully them out of the holes, you know. It's rated 0.6 to 10, so it's a perfect weight for sticking like a drop shots and jig heads down holes. Absolutely fantastic. Next up is the Solid Tip 682. What I found this very good for is presenting jig heads and small chebs for the like a wrasse and stuff. 6.5 foot, throwing 0.6 to 10. Absolutely fantastic wee rod. Probably my favourite out of all my M1s actually. Yeah, I mean it's my go-to sort of all-round LRF rod. Yeah, I do like using this. Same rod, tubular tip. I know it's a wee bit pedantic sort of having a rod for every single occasion, but the 682 in the tubular tip I have found absolutely great for throwing the like of metals and drop shot rigs and stuff. It's a great rod for fishing finesse tactics for slightly bigger fish, if you understand me. Like sort of a 5 gram sheb on that, carrying maybe a 2.5 to 3 inch lure. You can present it really well, and the fights you get out of fish are absolutely fantastic. Okay, Major Craft days. You probably didn't expect to see a days in all this, me being a sea angler, but the days superfine solid is an absolute micro angler's dream. Superfine solid tip rated to, oh, where am I? 1/64 of an ounce to 3/16 of an ounce means that you can present the like of one sub 1 gram jig heads and your smaller split shot rigs to the micro species, and you'll be able to feel everything from them. I find it an absolute brilliant wee tool for sort of, as I say, even a wee bit of light noodling sort of holes a couple of feet deep that I know there might be a goby in or something, that I like to use the days for that. It's an absolutely fantastic wee rod. This is the new baby. Not technically an LRF rod. This is the Kuradai. It's a tubular tip rod, 7.5 foot, thrown from 2 to 15 gram. What I found that great for is throwing the like chips and stuff again. You know, that tubular tip is really, really nice for that kind of thing. Throwing metals too. I have thrown jig heads down to 2 gram with it, and I have felt every single knock and bite from the rod, right up the rod. You know, wee bit longer than the other LRF rods, gives you a wee bit more reach. I like that rod now. It's quite fabulous. Well, guys, that's kind of it. That's pretty much the entirety of my LRF arsenal. Obviously, if you know you're targeting certain species, you'll take, you know, a certain rod out. If you're using a certain method, you'll take a certain rod and reel combo out. What I've found is I've got pretty much all the bases covered for the minute. Saying that, Major Craft are actually bringing out a LRF rod rated from, I believe it's 0.2 to 3 grams. I'm going to have one of those, simply because the feel and the presentation must be absolutely sublime on it. So that'll be coming into the arsenal soon. If you don't try, you'll never know. So fish where no one else is going to. That's one thing I have to say. I have found gobies in the most random of places where people kind of, well, give you a dirty look because you shouldn't really be fishing there, you know. Just try new things because you never know what's going to work. On that note, peace out.